On a cave wall, firelight dances. In the smoky air of an African night, a community draws close to the warmth, their faces lit by an orange glow. Here, around the embers, stories are born. The first great tool for binding people together, for turning survival into a shared strategy. When the winds changed, small bands followed the great herds, carrying with them fire, stone tools, and their essential stories. Step by step, they traced coastlines and crossed highlands until their camps grew into settlements beside fertile rivers. In these young cities, clay bricks hardened in the sun, barges nudged against the quay, and temples cast long shadows. Power took form in councils and codes. Scribes etched language onto clay, and rulers marshaled labor to build walls and canals. Great systems of belief arose to give life meaning. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam anchored communities in shared law and prayer. In the East, Confucian traditions shaped social conduct. Hinduism framed the vastness of the cosmos, and Buddhism charted a path of inner compassion. These structures allowed strangers to trust one another, carrying ideas across immense distances, even as other societies far across the oceans matured on their own. Across the western continents and the distant islands of the Pacific, complexity blossomed on its own terms. Terraces climbed high mountain slopes, plaza drums called communities to dance, and master navigators steered canoes across open ocean, guided by the stars. Great cities rose, maize fed millions, and sacred traditions stewarded the land and the sky. Then, vast networks braided the known world together. Along the Silk Roads, across the monsoon winds of the Indian Ocean, and through trans-Saharan caravans, merchants moved silk, spices, and salt. But with them traveled something far more potent: ideas, technologies, and devastating diseases. The ghost of these ancient routes still shape our modern world, from global supply chains to the digital maps that guide us along old corridors in new code. By the late medieval centuries, this old world was deeply interconnected, but the Americas and Oceania remained apart. Soon, a single daring ocean crossing would fuse them all, reshaping every shore on Earth. The early 16th century. On a tropical shore, two worlds collide. Sailors trade horses for maize, but the most significant exchange is invisible. Unseen microbes ride on every breath as the Columbian Exchange begins to carry crops, animals, and beliefs, along with widespread ruin, across the oceans, forever altering both hemispheres. From this collision, a new age of curiosity and doubt is born. The Enlightenment's talk of human rights fuels revolutions, asking a profound question: what happens when ideas outrun armies? In a crowded port city, a new generation learns that sovereignty might belong not to kings, but to citizens. Steam and finance forge an industrial world. Factory whistles draw millions into smoky streets, while gunboats project new power toward distant coasts. The 20th century erupts in the fire of world wars and the horror of genocide. Continents are torn apart by rival visions. Old empires crack, and new flags rise from their ashes. A Cold War freezes the world into two camps, even as new institutions seek a common ground for humanity. Today, the digital revolution connects us in ways previously unimaginable, even as great power balances shift and global crises like climate change test our collective will. We now edit the very code of life and ask profound questions of artificial intelligence as our oldest beliefs find new forms online. We study these arcs of history not just to understand the past, but to act in the present, because the choices we make now will echo across every community and every nation. Another hinge of history is turning.